Peace everyone, Unmasked here, and welcome to day 30 of Inktober. We have one day left. That is it. Just one more day. I still can't even comprehend how I made it this far, but thanks to all of you lovely people, I managed to do it. And I didn't die in the process. Anyways, today's prompt is Jolt, and as you can see, I'm doing Jolteon and Pikachu because it made sense to me and I haven't done any Pokemon in a while, and I thought it'd be fun, quick, and easy because today is Tuesday, which means it's date night with my beautiful wife, so I need to finish this stream early, get ready, and meet her after work. Anyways, before I get on to that, let me share your Inktober pieces that you did for yesterday's prompt, which was double, by the way. Lots of twinsies going on in the drawings there. They were really good, so thank you so much for sharing them. I have enjoyed seeing all of your Inktober pieces throughout this month. It's so hard to believe that it's coming to an end. I was a little under the weather yesterday, but I'm actually feeling good today. I just have a little thing in my throat, not a cough. I feel good. Thank you, Joy. Let me quickly say hello to everybody in the chat. Hello, Paulo, Joy, Mindy, Danny, Pixel, Anna, good to see you, Lindy, Snakes, Mindy, and Hildy, and Nick. Thank you all so much for coming to the live stream. I really appreciate it, and I'm super excited that you're here, and I'm ready to do this. As soon as the pictures finish going through the little slideshow there, I will begin inking my Pokemon here. Hello, Blue Jay Nest. First time seeing you in the stream, so welcome. And Coffee Cat, always a pleasure to see you as well. Thank you so much for coming. All right, the lovely pictures have finished, so I'm gonna get right to inking. I'm gonna start with this pen here. Actually, what is on my paper here? I had some graphite on the top of my paper there I needed to get rid of. Excuse me. All right, let's get to this inking. I couldn't really think of anything else to do for today's prompt other than Jolteon. It was kind of like my first initial thought, and I was like, well, that just seems to fit so perfectly because it's in the name, and so that's what I went with. And you know, whatever your guys' ideas are, I'd love to hear them, so please feel free to share your ideas in the chat because I'd love to know what kind of creative things you guys came up with for today's prompt. Do you guys have some of the most creative pieces ever? So jealous of your guys' creativity. I really enjoy seeing your Inktober pieces. So thank you again for sharing them with me throughout the month. Sharing them with all of the family members throughout the month. It has been a productive month for many of you in the Unmasked family. And as always, if you guys have any questions, you guys have any topics that you'd like me to discuss, please feel free to bring them up at your leisure. Happy to entertain just about every conversation. $10 centimeters of snow, Hildy? That is crazy. We woke up here in Katowice. I kind of woke up to my wife telling me that it's 20 degrees out. And I'm like, what? It's like, that doesn't make any sense. How's it so warm? And she just left in her jacket and non-winter wear. She usually is wearing many layers, and she was so confused. She didn't know what to go to work wearing because it was so warm this morning, and I don't know what's going on now outside. The wind is blowing like crazy right now. I think it might rain. I don't know what the deal is, but it's still rather warm. It actually cooled down a little bit. It's 18 degrees now, but still couldn't believe that we woke up and it was like 20 degrees at 7 o'clock this morning. So it's been an interesting day so far. Hopefully the weather stays good. Good morning, Robin and Co. I'm glad you both could make it to today's live stream. Remember that there is a coloring competition going on right now, and tomorrow will be the last day that I accept submissions for the coloring competition. So if you've been working on that, or if you want to try to do it last minute, I do have the link in the description. All you have to do is email me your finished submission, and then I will get to the judging process, and I will probably announce the winners next Monday. I will most likely announce the winners via the drawing journal, just so I don't know, maybe I'll do a short video. I'll just put together a quick video announcing the winners. I think that might be a better idea. Yeah, because I've done giveaway thingies in the past, and I always, to announce the winners, I do a video, and if they don't respond to the video, or they don't claim their prize in a week, then I give it to the next person. This is a little bit different because a winner is a winner when it's a competition, not a giveaway. So this time, if they don't respond, then they don't get their prize, I guess. Seeing as I'll have to mail things physically to them. I am feeling quite good today. Thank you for asking. Yes, I feel much better. I just needed a good night's rest, and I got it. Yep, slept like a baby last night. The time change. So a lot of you have different time changes, which is super weird. You know, I don't know how it is in the rest of Europe. It might be the same, but our time change, we went back an hour this past Sunday, and so it gave me an extra hour of sleep the past couple days, and it's been nice. I've been waking up early, but I've also been going to sleep at a bit more reasonable time, before midnight. And I just feel better. What's my favorite Pokemon? My favorite Pokemon would have to be Chauncey. And the reason Chauncey is my favorite is because when I was younger and I collected Pokemon cards, I had a foil Japanese Chauncey card that I just treasured, and for that reason, yeah, it's always been my favorite Pokemon. I don't know anything about Chauncey as a Pokemon. I don't even know what Chauncey's powers are, but it's always been my favorite. Yeah, I don't know what happened to my old Pokemon collection. I had this Pokemon tin that I used to hold cards, and I know that I got rid of a lot of them, and I don't know how I got rid of them, but I always had this tin, this Pokemon tin that had a bunch of cards in it, and I don't know what happened to that tin. The other thing that I don't know what happened to is that a long time ago, when Pokemon was like really popular in the mainstream, and McDonald's, it was either McDonald's or Burger King, I can't quite remember, but they had these plastic Pokeballs that you could buy, and inside they were like $10 or $15 or something like that, and they had a 24 gold plated Pokemon card that was like, I don't know, it was like maybe about a half a centimeter thick or something like that, and it was plated in real gold. And I had a Pikachu, I think it was a Pikachu, but I had the Pokeball and I had the Pikachu thing, and I kept it encased so that it was never touched. And I don't know what happened to it. I wish that I knew what happened to it. I got it, and I saved it, and I did it for the purpose of saving it, and over the years it just disappeared. I don't know where it went. Oh, well, there's my upstairs neighbor. He's hammering again. Go figure. He's got to make up for all the Inktober streams he wasn't making a bunch of annoying noises. Hopefully you guys don't hear him too much. Hello, Shiny. And Leia. I'm drawing a crash test dummy, but I'm not sure if I translated the word Jolt correctly in my language. Does it make any sense? Yeah, I mean, Jolt doesn't necessarily have to pertain to electricity. It could be like an impact, you know, like a crash test dummy has an impact when, you know, they're doing the testing and stuff. It makes sense. It means to like be pulled really quickly or something, along with being kind of associated with electricity or a shock. Oh, hello, Barbara and Chrissy. Good to see you. Will I draw 3 perspective drawing? Do you mean 3-point perspective drawing? I'm a little uncertain as to what your question is actually asking. So a 3-point perspective, most likely not. I don't have a lot of use for drawing in 3-point perspective. 3-point perspective is not used all that much because it creates a very it creates a very extreme perspective. Like 3-point perspective is very extreme in the sense that you're either looking down on something that's very tall or you're looking up at something that's very tall. And I've never really had much use for that type of perspective. It's much more common in like comic book type stuff to create the kind of dramatic sense of height. So if you think of like a Spider-Man or Batman being on the top of a really tall building, then a 3-point perspective would lend itself very, very well to such a scene for that reason. Kind of give you that exaggerated sense of height. But a 3-point perspective, I've never, like I said, I never really had any reason to use it. I know how to do it. It's just that, you know, I don't draw comic books and I don't draw very many scenes that would utilize such a technique. Oh, thank you, Ko. I appreciate that. Glad you like my Pikachu. I'm gonna color these with markers after I do the inking. This is just the primary inking, so I'll do, you know, I'll make the lines a little bit neater, and I'm gonna do an outline, a nice thick outline for them as well, just so that they really stand off the page nicely. Can you guys hear my upstairs neighbor hammering? Hopefully not. I'm hoping that you don't hear it, but I'm just curious if you do. It's hard to draw when it's looking downward. Well, if you think about it, it's the same as if you're drawing upward, because if you flip it upside down, the vanishing points would be the same as if you were upward. So I don't know why it would be more difficult to draw downward as opposed to upward with 3-point perspective. Because really, if you think about it, the only difference is your third point, your third vanishing point flips with the axis of being the horizon. So I mean, if it helps, just flip your drawing upside down. Yes, but it's not distracting. Oh, okay. So you can hear them, but hopefully it's not too loud. Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's my first time doing Inktober, and I'm glad that so far I made it to the end. Well, I am super glad to hear that you made it to the end as well, Leia. Yes, absolutely. Last year was my first time doing Inktober, and it was definitely a new challenge. This year, I was a bit more mentally prepared because I knew what to expect. However, I was a little less prepared when it came to what I was going to draw, because last year I was really kind of anxious participating in Inktober because I knew that I was going to be streaming every single drawing, and I was like, I need to have something prepared before the stream so that I can not look like a complete fool on the live stream. And this time I feel a bit more confident in my ability to just kind of do something quickly, in the sense that in the sense that I don't need as much planned. I kind of have a little bit more confidence regarding that, and I think that's just a result of being more comfortable live streaming and just knowing that if I make mistakes on the stream, or if I don't like the finished drawing, or it doesn't look amazing or perfect or whatever like that, you guys aren't really going to hold it against me all that much. Oh, okay, Brenda. I'm glad you got. I'm glad you're on the ball and got your Inktober piece done. I applied for art school in September but didn't get accepted. So Inktober is a nice way of keeping motivated. Yes, indeed. I think it is. What is my neighbor up to? I wish that I knew, Scott. I really wish that I knew. He has been hammering away for the past 2 years, and if he's not hammering, he's drilling, and I don't know what on earth he's up there doing. I'm just going to do a nice, thick, bold outline for my Pokemon here. That way they stand off the page nicely. And then I will start the coloring process. Oh, my neighbor. He is just obsessed with the hammer and drill. I will not miss that once my wife and I move out of this flat. I will not miss the hammering and the drilling. Goodness, it's so windy. Sometimes when it gets really windy or stormy or whatever, I lose power, so I'm really hoping that I can get through today's stream without losing power, because obviously if I lose power, the stream is just over. I've been very lucky. Last year it never happened, and it's actually never happened, as far as I remember, actually during a stream. I don't recall it ever happening actually during a stream, and I've had live streams, no joke, I've had live streams that I finished in like 2-3 minutes later my power went out. Like it's been that close before in the past, but it's never actually happened during a live stream. So hopefully it continues to be that way, and I don't have any issues with my electricity. I mean, it doesn't like shut off and then stay off, it just flickers, but flickering the electricity is, you know, enough to power everything off in that instant, and then I just, yeah, then I'm stuck here in the dark until I turn the lights back on. This is my 3rd year of Inktobering, but first year following the prompts really struggled with some of them, but I have managed to stick to it and not go off prompt. Oh, that's very cool. Still not sure what I'm going to do for today's prompt. Yeah, today's prompt was hard for me as well, and this was kind of my fallback here, this drawing of Jolteon. I initially kind of thought of drawing Jolteon, but I was like, well, maybe I can come up with something better. And the only thing I could come up that was better was to draw Pikachu aside Jolteon. So, not the most original idea, but at least I'm drawing. It's been It's been a very different kind of struggle, I guess. I don't know if I can even call it a struggle. This year as opposed to last year. This year, the streams were relatively easy. The drawings were relatively easy for me to feel like I was completing something. I'm wondering how Inktober will change for me next year as well. Because I do intend to continue. I really like, the reason I like doing Inktober, aside from hanging out with just a bunch of really awesome people, is that it gives me the almost excuse, but I'm going to use the word opportunity instead because that's more positive. It gives me the opportunity to just draw things that I don't normally do for my channel, because on my channel, you know, since I teach a lot, I'm usually doing realistic drawings, colored pencils and pastels, and I'm kind of like, not pigeonholed, but like stuck in those mediums, because that's what people want. People that subscribe to my channel, that's what they want to see, that's what they want to learn. And Inktober gives me a good way around that, because even the people that tend to like colored pencils and pastels more than ink, they still like to tune into the live streams and hang out and get to meet people. So yeah, I have a subtle way around it, but it will be right back to the colored pencils and pastels after Inktober. And I look forward to getting back. I look forward to it. I think after Inktober, I'll have a newfound sense of patience with creating, because I haven't been in any rush this year. And after kind of hanging out with you all this year and getting your response to some of the questions I thought were important to ask you guys, like, you know, do you prefer my live streams as opposed to my pre-recorded videos? And most of you prefer the live streams because it gives us a chance to interact in real time, and you can ask me questions. You still learn a lot because you can't ask me anything. And so I'll be focusing more on the live streams even after Inktober. Tomorrow will obviously be the last Inktober stream for this year, and then the next live stream, aside from the Patreon live stream that will be on Thursday, will be the following Monday. And it's most likely just going to be a drawing journal, and I'll just hang out and draw something. What I think I'll probably end up doing actually is working on that that yoga pose that I drew in here. I had to kind of rush out the door a little bit on that drawing, and that I really did not like that. So I want to complete it to its full potential, and I'm going to incorporate some colored pencils into it as well, because I really like the drawing and I want it to look as good as I can make it. So I'm going to incorporate some colored pencils on it. So next Monday actually will be the drawing journal, where I'll just hang out and rework that drawing until I think that I have it as good as I wanted it to look in the first place. Alright, Pokemon are inked. Now it's time to grab my markers. Let's see, what is the next prompt? The final prompt for Inktober is slice. It is slice. What the heck am I gonna do for slice? Yeah, maybe we should talk about slice. That looks like Need to make my own prompts. You know, I thought of that, and we had a little bit of a conversation about me just doing my own prompts for Inktober. But the one thing that compels me to do the official prompts is that I don't make them up. And because I don't make them up, it pushes me in a way that I wouldn't think of. See, if I come up with my own prompts, it's going to be a reflection of the things that I already like to draw, the ideas that I already have, and it feels like it's less of a challenge for me. And so by following the official prompts, I'm out of control. Like, I don't have control of what my ideas are. I don't have control over anything, really. And so I have to think outside of my normal thought process in order to come up with an idea. And so that's why I like the official prompt list for Inktober. Heard about Drawvember, simple drawing prompts. The list is on Instagram. I have not, but I mean, I've heard of a whole plethora of different monthly drawing challenges. And Inktober is the one that appeals to me the most, which is, I probably just stick to this one. Like I mentioned, I think yesterday, I don't know if I could do 2 months in a year of like the daily live streams. It does get pretty difficult, but maybe. I'm not discounting the possibility. Drawing a samurai, that is good. Ninja, I like ninja too. That is a good one. Slice of pizza, oh, that's a good one, Brenda. I do like that. Oh, a pie, slice of pie. What is my first tattoo? It's this one here. This was my first tattoo. This was my second tattoo. I only have 2 tattoos. Maybe your group should make a weekly prompt or monthly that everyone can interpret, etc. for one of your drawing journals. Oh my goodness, Helen, that's such a good idea. That's such a good idea. I am going to screenshot that comment, and I think what I'll do in the Facebook group is that each month I'll come up with, or the moderators will just come up with a prompt that everybody can draw and follow, and then they can post it in the comments, and I will share it in a drawing journal at like the end of the month or something. A ninja eating a slice of pizza. Oh, that's good. Do tattoos hurt a lot? And they didn't hurt me a lot. I actually found them rather relaxing, which I don't think a lot of people would agree with. But they weren't painful for me. I am going to start coloring Pikachu now. I'm gonna move my light really quick. Less shadow from my hand. We want Anna in the live streams, couple streams. Oh, yeah, it's been some time since we've done a full-on couple stream. Maybe we'll try to do one sometime this before this year ends. Most likely we won't do one before we leave for America, but maybe if we come back, when we come back. Not if we come back, we are coming back. But when we come back. Maybe for like a New Year's a New Year's couple stream or something like that, or New Year's Eve couple stream. Although that'd probably not be a good idea because Poles go crazy at New Year's with the fireworks. I don't know if you guys have seen the video that I uploaded from last year's, but everybody buys fireworks, and the entire country is just exploding with fireworks. When I go out and stand on my balcony and watch the fireworks, you don't know where to look because they're literally going off everywhere. And last year they were going off right in front of my balcony. There's like a little space. There's a bunch of apartment complexes here, and we kind of create this little circle here, and there's kind of this I don't know what to call it. There's a space with grass and junk that everybody takes their dogs, and somebody was setting off the fireworks right there, literally exploding right in front of my balcony. Like you could almost reach out and touch the firework as it was exploding. And I was standing on the balcony with my camera, and it was just exploding right in front of the camera. And yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool because, like I said, the entire country. I know there's a couple countries like that here in Europe that just everybody is setting off fireworks everywhere, but it's not like that in America. Usually you just gather at one place and professionals are doing it. When do I leave for America? It will be next month on the 14th. Yep, next month on the 14th, and I'll be gone for the remainder of the month. I won't be back till December. Do I watch horror movies? No, I do not. No horror movies. I don't even like to watch the previews to horror movies. My wife would never watch a horror movie anyway, and so I don't pressure her into watching any, and I don't. They're just not the movies that I gravitate towards. I like dramas. That's my favorite movie type. Drama. I like something that makes you think, makes you feel, and makes you wonder. So I'm more into dramas. I'm not huge into the comic book superhero movies because I think the majority of them are just super lame. There's some that are good. I think Deadpool is super good. But like Black Panther, Ant-Man, they're just not for me. I just don't like them. Oh, hello, Andrea. Jolt has a couple meanings slightly. Usually it's associated with like a jolt of electricity, like a shock, but it doesn't necessarily have to mean like an electric shock. It could just be like a scare shock or something like that. There's a few different ways to interpret the word. But in my case, I'm doing electric shock, which is why I'm doing electric Pokemon. I'm glad we can't buy fireworks here in Australia and New Zealand. Too many animals get hurt. Bad enough even with the big displays because animals get scared of the noise and run away from home. Hello everyone, popping in quickly for a bit before work. Well, glad to see you, Misty. Hello, good morning. And glad you chose to pop in for a little bit. Hope you have a good day at work. Don't work too hard. Have I been to Japan? No, I have not. And it is very disappointing to say that. I wanted to live in Japan since I was 14 years old. And when I joined the military, I tried to get as close to Japan as possible, and I never got to even visit. Never even got to visit. I was on an aircraft carrier, and Japan does not like nuclear aircraft carriers pulling into their country. So yeah, didn't get a chance, unfortunately, but hopefully one day I will find myself there. Haven't bought treats for the trick-or-treaters. Yeah, better get on that. They trick-or-treating is starting to kind of sort of get a little bit more popular here in Poland. I know last year I saw a few people. Halloween's not really celebrated here that much, but from what my wife has said is that it's slowly started to be picked up here a bit, but not so much. Have I been to Malaysia? No, have not been to Malaysia. I have been to Thailand. I have been to Singapore. I've been to Dubai. I have been to Canada. I've been to Jamaica. I've been to Germany. I've been to United Kingdom. And of course Poland. Trying to think of any other country I've been to. I've been real close to Mexico. Never actually been to Mexico though. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Those are the countries that I've visited. Hope to visit many more, especially here in Europe. I feel like I should just be able to pop over to France and Spain and Italy, and I'd love to find myself up north in Finland and Ireland. I'd love to go up there and just I want to see as many places as I can, and hopefully I can find some time to travel around a little bit. I'd love to just grab a backpack and some clothes and just keep going through the countries and just see a bunch of stuff, meet a bunch of people, and yeah, hopefully I will visit Malaysia. I want to visit China as well. I'd love to go over there, explore that country. One of my dreams is to participate in like a poker championship, PCA. They're usually like $5,000 like buy-in tournament. Oh gosh, it'd be so fun to play in one of those. And they host them in Spain, Barcelona. They host them in Prague. Oh, I've been to Czech Republic. I was in Prague last year. They host them in the Bahamas. I'm trying to think of where else I think they host them in the UK as well. But I would love to play in a PCA tournament. Just, oh gosh, it's a dream. I love poker. I really enjoy playing poker. I was actually playing in a tournament last night and won a whole dollar. It was like a 50 cent, like you pay 50 cent to play in the tournament, and I think there was like 2,000 people that entered the tournament, and I ended up getting knocked out really unluckily. It was just it's what you call a cooler for sure. I had king 9, and my opponent had king queen, and the flop was jack king king, and I was like, well, for sure I'm good with trip kings. I mean, goodness. But my opponent had king, or he had the 4th kings, but he had a better kicker, and his queen played. Unfortunately, the board didn't pair. If the board paired, then it would have just been a split pot, which I would have been perfectly fine with, but it wasn't. He got lucky, and I got unlucky. I pulled the short straw on that one. I ended up going out, I think it was like, I was like 290th, which isn't bad considering there was like 2,000 people in the tournament. And it was getting late anyway. I wanted to actually I sort of wanted to lose anyway, but I doubled my money, paid 50 cents and won a little over $1. Oh yes, Chrissy. Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm definitely coming to Australia. Gotta visit Australia. Australia has always been number 2 on my lists of places to visit. Japan always has been number 1 and will always be number 1. but Australia was always number 2 on my list. Americans love Australia. Yeah, it's a popular country on the list of places to visit for Americans, and it's been the same for me. I've always wanted to visit Australia. The newspaper is going to do a short story on your Inktober drawings. Oh, that is so awesome. That is so awesome. You'll have to send me the link or something if they put the article online. You'll have to send me a link so I can check it out and share it in the Unmasked family as well. That's definitely an inspirational thing to share. You can probably visit people you know from the Unmasked family in most countries. Oh yes, I probably could. Wait, was it last year? Yeah, it was last year. I went to London last year a couple times, and I had mentioned it on the live streams, but I guess I just didn't have anybody in the London area that was too fond of me enough to meet me for tea or something like that. But I played a ton of poker, so it would have been tough. Excuse me. Yeah, the last trip that I made to London, I did nothing but play poker. Forget the casino that I went to. I can't remember the name of it, but I literally did nothing but play poker. I was there for 4 days, 3 nights, and oh gosh, I don't even want, I've shared this story before. I'm not sharing it again. It was the dumbest. Oh my gosh, it was the dumbest mistake. It's one of my greatest mistakes I've ever made. It cost me £10,000. I was in a 2-day poker tournament. I finished day 2, top 10 most chips, and I was down. It was down to the 3 final tables. If I just sat there and did nothing and just let the blinds eat my chips away, I was in such a strong lead. I was in first place with chips. I had 10%. I had 10% of all the chips that were in play. So I was essentially guaranteed making it to the final table, which guaranteed me making at least £5,000. But I got blindsided because there was an opponent that I didn't see was in a hand, and it cost me the entire tournament. I only ended up winning £500, and the top prize was just shy of £11,000. And I would have been right there in the running for first place, considering my chip stack. And it was definitely a very humbling situation. It haunts me to this day. I still can't get over it. Still can't get over it. such a bad mistake. I couldn't see my opponents. I couldn't see the guy to my left. I couldn't see his cards because they were behind his chips, and I was staring down across the table to my right at a different opponent that I knew was in the hand. I thought it was just me and this one guy, and I asked him how many chips he had, and he had 250,000 chips, so I had him well covered. Goodness, I don't even want to tell a story. Don't make me tell the story. And so I shoved all in because I wanted him to fold. I was playing the big stack, so I just wanted him to fold. I had pocket sevens, so I didn't have a bad hand or anything, but this guy that I didn't know was in, because I couldn't see his cards, he snap calls me, and he had pocket kings. And when I heard the call, when I heard that he called me, it felt like it was behind me, because I looked over, and I'm like, who is this guy, and when was he in the hand? It was so bad. Still can't get over it. It really, really, really bothers me to this day. Bothers me to death. That's too dark. Well, take care, Misty. You have a good day. I should definitely visit Scotland, yes. I need a light blue, but I don't quite have it. So I guess I'll just use cool gray, I guess. Yeah, but I would love to play in one of those really big tournaments with like a $5,000 buy-in. That the tournaments are always streamed live, and oh gosh, it would just be so cool. It would just be so cool. I mean, obviously, I'd be up against a lot of professional players, but I feel like I could still hold my own, because there's still, you know, a great deal of luck in poker, but it's still a tremendous amount of strategy. Otherwise, the same people wouldn't show up at the final table every single time. Oh, I also need to play in the World Series of Poker that goes down, I think it usually goes down in July in Las Vegas. And that's a $10,000 buy-in. Oh my gosh, it's my dream. I gotta play in the World Series of Poker at least once in my life. I mean, goodness, just if I could just make it to like day 4, World Series of Poker, I'd make like a couple $100,000. I would love to play in the World Series of Poker. Just see all like the poker pros that I know, and it would, yeah. It's hard to justify a $10,000 buy-in, especially when you only make $20,000 a year. But one of these days, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I want to play in a PCA, and I want to play in the World Series of Poker, even if I have to pay out of pocket to pay for the buy-in. Have to, at least once in my life. At least once in my life. I'd be a nervous wreck, though. I would be so nervous. Oops. If it ever happens, let us know so we can watch. Oh yeah, definitely. I would let you know. Which markers and paper am I using? Okay, so the markers that I'm using are partially irrelevant because they are like 20 years old, they're discontinued, and you cannot buy them anymore. But if you must know, they are Pantone Tria Letraset markers. And again, you cannot buy them unless you're lucky enough to find somebody selling them on eBay. That is the only way you can get them. The paper that I am using is actually in the description. Video description has the pens that I've used, the ink that I used, the paper that I used, and whatever else I might have used, excluding my markers, because like I said, you can't buy them. I need a different blue. Are the markers as good as Sharpie markers? I don't think Sharpie markers are good at all. I would say that my markers are significantly better than Sharpie markers. Sharpie markers are permanent markers. They are not alcohol-based markers, so they are not able to be blended the way these markers are. Would that paper be good for pro markers? Yeah, I mean, I don't have any experience with pro markers, so I can't tell you if pro markers are as good as these markers that I'm using. But this paper would not discriminate based on the type of marker, so this paper would be good for any kind of marker if the marker is good. Pro marker is alcohol-based marker also, so they should work fine. But this paper is good for watercolor, ink, marker, colored pencil. It's just an all-around really good paper, in my opinion. And I have to stress the fact that that it is my opinion, because paper is a subjective choice, and what I deem to be a good paper is not deemed to be a good paper by every artist, because paper choice is a personal choice, and I can only give you my opinion. I cannot give you a fact about the paper. Alright, I'm going to do a little bit of cast shadows before calling it a day. So let's just throw in a little bit of shadow here. So my Pokemon look well grounded. If you guys have any last minute questions, ask them now very quickly, because I am going to be done with this drawing in just a few moments. Once I finish these cast shadows here, this drawing will be officially complete, and Inktober day 30 will officially be complete. Oh, hello, Talia. Glad you made it today. At least made it a little bit of it. Just about to finish up here. Will I cut my hair tomorrow while you're live streaming? No, that is a no. I'm still not 100% certain that I'm gonna cut my locks off. I thought that I was fully decided, but the more I think about it now, the less I want to do it. I just washed them yesterday, so they're actually still drying, because I don't know if you guys remember me telling you that it takes about 2 days for my locks to fully dry. So they're still a bit damp. I washed them last night, but I tried to blow dry them extra long so that they would be dry since I'm leaving, going outside today. Fortunately for me, it's a little warmer today, so I have that going for me, but still, it's don't want to go outside with wet hair when it's only 18 degrees out. Alrighty then, there are my Pokemon, my Pikachu and Jolteon, and my drawing is officially complete. Want to get more 3D look for your drawings? Do I have any classes? I don't have any classes specifically on getting it to look more three-dimensional, but three-dimensionality usually is if you're drawing a single object like this, you know, like a Pikachu or Jolteon, where it's just floating, to help ground your image and immediately make it look more three-dimensional is to add shadows to it so that it stands off the page a bit more. That's one way that you can help your drawings look a bit more three-dimensional. The other way that you can do that is by coloring it, and when you color it, you create dimension with values, so you have to do that. What about your neck issues from the weight of your locks? Yeah, I know. I'm just not decided completely. Is there any markers that are cheaper than Copic? Yes, there are a lot of markers that are cheaper than Copic, but the downside is they usually don't work even half as good. And I've had that experience with several different brands of markers that I thought might be good because people on YouTube said they were good, and when I got them, I was disgusted in both the markers and the opinion of several people. You are very welcome, Pumpkin Spice. I want to thank you all so much for coming by today. This is going to be it for today. I am going to get ready for my date night with my lovely wife and have a great evening. And that's about it. Make sure you guys share your Inktober drawings in the Unmasked Family Facebook group. If you're not already a member, I have a link for that in the description. And tomorrow is the last day of Inktober. So I will see you all tomorrow, and take care. Peace.